First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who is a so-called black man. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Brakathum, to all the Akim out there that's pushing this truth and sincerity. While Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Brakathum, to all the elders out there who labor in the truth, who taught us this truth. Now, this is from a Christian website. Is it wrong, a sin, or lustful to look at a person I find attractive? Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because we want to poke holes into Christianity, that doctrine, okay, Christianity doctrine. Since they love to make continuous videos on us, well, shoot, we'll do the same, man. Okay, it's only fair that it's only right that we fight this battle too, man. Okay, we have to engage. All right. So if they're making videos, we got to make videos. Just like in boxing, somebody throw a jab, we got to throw one. Or in basketball, if somebody score, we got to score. And then we need a defensive stop. And then we keep scoring and scoring and scoring on them, and continue to get stops. That's exactly how it is with this, man. Okay? They think they got one up on us. Well, man, we got to have 5 up on them. All right? Now, Christianity is one of the main reasons why our people, or a lot of people in general, doesn't believe in the Bible, man. Because of lies like this. I was watching this video. Okay, this one Christian said, This one Christian said, "Oh, it's a sin to look at a woman." It's a sin to look at a at a woman. Like, if it's a sin to look at a woman, all of us are dead, man. And that came out of the mouth of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And you Christians say it's hard to keep the law, or the law of Moses is hard to keep. Looking at a woman, this is sin. I believe if that was the actual sin, that is the hardest sin. The hardest sin. You know, unless you're homosexual. But if you're a straight man, okay, if you're into woman, you always looking at woman. Okay, always. Okay, and an attractive woman, you will look at that. Period. So we'd all be doomed, according to you guys. And I'm glad I'm not a Christian. But let's read this. It says in Matthew 5:27-28, Jesus, so-called Jesus, said, "You have heard it was said, you shall not commit adultery, but I say unto you, everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Does this mean we can't even look at a person we find attractive? Not exactly. Jesus was criticizing the legalistic habits of the righteous leaders of the day. They were great at seeing the letter of the law, which is what the law literally says, but they did not grasp the spirit of the law, which is the intent behind the law. When you find someone attractive and then find yourself looking for a bit longer than you normally would, do a check on your heart and your motives. Why are you looking? Are you merely admiring their attractiveness, or are you imagining them in a sexual manner? Now, is it wrong to imagine somebody in a sexual manner? No, it's not, man. Okay? No, it's not. Me personally, I don't know about you guys, but before I get with a woman, I have to, all right, because you have people always say that looks don't matter, blah, blah, blah. That's all nonsense, okay? You definitely have to find a woman or a male attractive to even engage with them, man. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, you're just not going to be walking around with some ugly hag, man. You're just not a ugly, a messy, non-decent person. That's a bold-faced lie, especially for us men, especially for us blacks, so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native American men. Okay, we have to envision a woman that we have to envision a woman that we can have sex with, man. Period. Okay, we do. If I can't imagine or envision having sex with you, me personally, I can't have you. But it's not limited there. Okay, it's not limited there. All right, not just sexual purposes, but that's one of them. If I can't envision me having sex with you, I don't want you. Period. All right, but we're going to get into the meaning of it because Christianity turns men into homosexuals. Okay, that's the Christianity agenda, to turn people into homosexuals. All right, or turn people away from the truth of the Bible. Because, like I said, you will have people that will hear stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm not going to believe in this. Like everything is a sin. Anything you do is a sin, which that's wrong, man. Okay, that is wrong. Everything we do is not a sin. Christianity portrays that though. But the laws that we're supposed to keep, they don't want to keep that. But they just make up their own laws. Oh, it's a sin to do this, it's a sin to do that. No, it's not. Read the Bible. You're just making stuff up. Your beloved Paul says, where there is no law, there is no sin. Implying what? Whatever's in the law is a sin. Right? Eating pork, that's a sin. Oh, but Christians say, oh. You're not you're not you can eat pork. It's not against the law to eat pork. The laws are done away with. What's more easier to do? Not eating pork or looking at a woman? Jokers, man. It says, why are you looking? Are you merely admiring their attractiveness, or are you imagining them in a sexual manner? Notice Jesus' words is above the verse. He says that to look at a woman with the intent to lust with, it's adultery. Okay. A simple glance or reasonable gaze at someone we find attractive is not a sin in of itself. Okay, good. When we dive into lustful thoughts in our minds is when we have crossed over into sexual sin. That's, I totally disagree with that last statement, but looking at a woman, glazing at a woman who we find attractive is not a sin. And if we find a woman attractive, all right, it's just, sometimes you don't, look at them in a sexual manner, but sometimes you do. Like a woman, and I'm just speaking as a man, okay, a woman walking down the street with, with tight clothing on, you're gonna look at that, especially us so-called blacks and Hispanic man. We're gonna look at that. You see her body parts on point. You're gonna look at that and be like, damn, Or a woman in the gym. We're gonna look at that, man. Period. But I said, if you haven't read the 412 Teens article about lust, that might be a good time. What is lust? Let's see. Which context refers to an extended yearning look. We're going to get into all that. All right. But I'm going to skip down to here. It says, controlling your gaze toward the beautiful comes down to knowing your motives. If you're looking at pictures of pretty people and finding yourself tempted to fantasize, or they are evoking sexual feelings, then it would be best to avoid them invoking sexual feelings. So you can't have sexual feelings now. That is crazy. Now there's a balance to things. If all you think about is sex, all right, then you're unbalanced. Okay, you're unbalanced. You need balance for sure. If that's all you think about, it says, every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexual immoral person sins against his own body. Or do you know that your body? Okay, quoting 1 Corinthians. All right, so this is the blue letter. Let's get understanding. So this is Matthew 5:27. It says, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Now, according to the Bible, that's why it says to go precept upon precept. What is adultery? Well, let's see what's adultery. This is Deuteronomy 22:22. Simple. It says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, Then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman, and the woman shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Okay, so if a man be found having sex with a woman that's married, they both gotta die, cause that's adultery, man. That's adultery. Leviticus 20:10. It says, "And he that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death." So if you have sex with another man's wife, that's adultery. So that's clearly implying in Matthew the 5th chapter, "But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." So what does that mean? A woman that's already married, a woman that already has a husband. If I see a man and a woman walking down the street and they're obviously married, and I still look at her with covet or lust, I done committed adultery, man. So let's go into the word lust, because that's another man's woman that I'm fantasizing about. That's wicked. Not if she's single. Now let's go into the word lust. All right. Covet, desire, to set the heart upon, long for. All right, covet. I want to highlight covet. All right. Let's go to the 10 Commandments. Exodus 25. This is the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. What shall we not covet? Exodus 20:17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So, if our neighbor is in possession of a woman, we're not supposed to be coveting or lusting after that. Why? Because that's going to lead into adultery. So that's what it's talking about. Not if I see a woman and I ask her if she's single and she look beautiful, and I envision me being fruitful and multiplying with her, does not imply adultery. That's sick. Moving on. That's satanic, and that's homosexuality, man. What is this? What do I want? Genesis 1:26 or 28. Genesis 1:28. And God said, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be fruitful and multiply, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So the powers, the Elohim or Elohim said to be fruitful and multiply, have sex and have children. In order for me to have sex with somebody, I gotta envision me having sex with them, man. Period. I don't know what Christianity is talking about, man. I have no idea what Christianity is talking about. All right, so it quotes 1 Corinthians 6, right? It tells us to flee from sexual immortality. Good. What is sexual immortality? Good. Let's go to that. 1 Corinthians 6. What is sexual immortality? Let's see. All right. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. Now, what is fornication? All right. Adultery, illicit sexual intercourse. Fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. Metaphorical, the worship of idols. So that's what it means, man. Being a homosexual, being a lesbian, having sex with animals, or just simply idolatry. So that's what it's talking about, man. Okay. Christianity is one hell of a drug. Christianity is going to lead a lot of people to go crazy, man. And that's why people don't believe in the Bible, because they hear stuff like that and say, "What? So I can't envision having sex with somebody?" Having sex is not a sin. Having sex is not a sin. I'm going to repeat that again. Having sex is not a sin. Okay? Having sex with another man's woman, yeah, that's a sin. That's a sin. That's worthy of death. But having sex is not a sin. Having sexual feelings is not a sin. God, the Creator, gave us those feelings to have. This is Matthew 15:7. It says, "Ye hypocrites, well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, These people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men." All right, but Lord willing, if you brothers, if you sisters were edified, to next time I say shalom.